Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General Yahanna presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahanna. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
Everyone west. Everyone west. Everyone west.
Hey, oh. Yeah. Hey. Fuck wrong with you, boy? You know what time it is, nigga. Better watch how you step in. Yeah. But that was my nigga. Yeah. I'm in it, yo. Got my nigga Rawan with me. But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor. You know what I'm saying? Under Commanding General Yahanna. That for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Look, hey, straight off the top, I love all of my niggas. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home. That's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown, I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my Hakim gon' let him have it. Hey, think you the shit, this truth, this shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it, ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talking shit, yeah, I know they can't stand us, but we U.P.K, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm rippin'. And my niggas solid, number real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start stepping. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapped in the gutter. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For why take your life or let you take mine? That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves, shit got me feeling played. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complexion. Still fighting to get accepted, we hear the truth and reject it. But love is getting corrected, and all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Hey.
Live. Let's clap it up. Shalom, Israel. We're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. This is Monday night history class. And so for that, we're going to go into some history, a dark history that, you know, maybe some of our people, they know about it. Maybe some of them don't, but the world needs to know it. And we here today, we're here to spread that information. You know, I want to, get it up to Commander General Yahanna one time. Without Commander General Yahanna, our leader, the leader of Israel right now, this is who, this is who we answer to. This is our leader. A lot of you don't have leaders out there. You like to confide in yourself and you make up things and you believe it. And then you try to make other people believe it. But that's not how it works in the UPK. Right. We know how to take orders. We are given orders and we see them through. So, but today, while there's a lot of our people, y'all won't be out there, celebrating, satanically celebrating. It's New Year's is coming up. We just got through Christmas, all the sadness and the weeping and the money spent on absolutely what you can get any other day. You don't have to, celebrate that day. But New Year's is coming up. But what we're going to do, we're going to divert into what the slaves right here in America was going through when New Year's celebrations was going through. This is basically like a dark history. So we're going to tap in a little bit into how was the slaves feeling and what they were going through when New Year's was getting ready to hit, December 31st, basically from Christmas to New Year's. Our people was on edge. We was on edge being in this captivity. So, if you could, Adawan, you could start on that first one. The first one I sent you. Time magazine. So this is a dark history right here. Just a little bit of information on how the slaves over here were on edge. They were in their own, quarters, their slave quarters, and every 31st, they didn't know whether they was going to leave, be sold, rented out, be sold, or just straight up, sometimes the slave master kept the whole family intact. But you're still in slavery, though. But you got this, sir?
This is from Time magazine. The slaves dread New Year's Day the worst. The grim history of January 1st.
This is the grim history of January 1st. The slaves dreaded because they didn't know what was going to be the outcome. While a lot of our people out here, you getting ready to pop bottles, you getting ready to have the sparkly things in the clubs. You're going to be out in the streets screaming and celebrating. Some of y'all, you're going to be letting it off, what I'm saying, in the air. Pause, but the artillery, and that's not what we need to be doing. We need to remember what our ancestors went through during this time. Thursday is coming up. If Christ don't come back by Thursday, you know what I'm saying? This is what you're gonna keep doing the same thing year after year. Salaki.
Americans are likely to think the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day as a time to celebrate the fresh start that a new year represents. But there is also a troubling side to the holidays history. In the years before the Civil War, the first day of the new year was often a heartbreaking one for enslaved people in the United States.
You see, the first day of the year was often a heartbreaking one because our ancestors didn't know whether they was going to be, some of them was rented out. Literally, they just, their master would rent them out to certain other plantations and things like that. Or they didn't know if they was just going to be lost completely. So you read on.
In the African-American community, New Year's Day used to be widely known as Hiring Day or Heartbreak Day.
Hiring or heartbreak. That's what it is. Like you hear this word hiring. Now, we get hired today. So this right here is showing you that nothing's changed. We still in captivity. We still in captivity because you still get hired today for, we here in the UPK, we call our jobs, and this is our term. So we use the term, we going to the slave, or what I'm saying, I got I got to go to my slavery today, which I think a lot of y'all out there, y'all gonna be using our terms real soon. Once you keep hearing this, that job equals slave, or I got to go to my slavery, it's depending on how you word it, but I got y'all, using it. I think the rappers and everybody gonna start using that term because they know they slaves, They might not admit it, but they already know it, right. So
as the African American abolitionist journalist William Cooper Neal described it, because enslaved people spent New Year's Eve waiting, wondering if their owners were going to rent them out to someone else, plus potentially split up their families. The renting out of slave labor was a relatively common practice in the antebellum South.
See, there was a common practice in the antebellum South, down there in the South, preferably deep VA and further, all the way down, going all the way to Texas and across the Gulf area and everything. It was prevalent, like they knew about this. This is what they've been going through. They got accounts. They got several accounts where some of our brothers and sisters, their grandparents told them about things like this. The ones that was, still alive and able to actually, share these stories about what they went through or what they seen their parents or their grandparents go through, some years back. Salaki.
And a profitable practice for white slave owners and hirers. Hiring Day was part of the larger economic cycle in which most debts were collected and settled on New Year's Day, says Alexis Crossan, an expert on the history of New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day, and professor of history at Southern Methodist University, SMU, who writes about Hiring Day in her forthcoming book, Time's Touchstone: The New Year in American Life. Some enslaved people were put up for auction that day or held under contracts that started in January.
See, some people were put up for auction. Some people were held under contract. When you go to your slave now or your job, you got to sign a contract, and then some people were just straight up auction, sold off. Esau, who was the white man, he tears our families apart. He constantly doing that. Like right now, while our people are getting ready to celebrate, New Year's, our Latino brothers and sisters are being snatched up left and right. Everywhere. I don't know if y'all been seeing that, on social media, wherever you need to look at for news, but they've been being taken away, left and right. It's no ending to it. It's getting worse too. They kind of died down on, the main media news scales, as far as showing that, but it's still happening because a lot of people on the ground, of course, we got these phones now, so a lot is gonna get documented. Yeah, come.
Or held under contracts that started in January. These transactions also took place all year long, and contracts could last for different amounts of time. These deals were conducted privately amongst families, friends, and business contacts.
Salaki. The article just said these deals were done all year long.
It took place. These transactions took place all year long, and contracts could last for different amounts of time.
Wow. So that means our people, you can imagine the stress level, that's going through their bodies, just like our people today, just like our Latino brothers and sisters. I know their stress level is going up with them and the children right now, because they can't, a lot of them in certain places, they're not even showing their faces too much. A lot of them are scared to go to the work, to the slavery, to the job. A lot of them lost their job. because they don't want to get deported. You know what I'm saying? And some of you brothers and sisters out here, like when you hear this type of information, you will still sit back and still go out December 31st that night. You know, you will either be in a church, some Leviticus church, you know what I'm saying, or some corner or street, or you might even be up there in Times Square or wherever city that you in that, you know, drop whatever they got to drop just to issue in Esau's New Year. This is not our New Year, first of all. This is not, nothing grows in the winter, you know what I'm saying, on a major scale. You know, New Year really starts in the springtime, but Esau says it's January 1st. All right, he can have that. It's January 1st for him, you know. Used to be in the springtime for them. They used to be their New Year used to be March 25th, but you know, they did away with that. So now you got January 1st to hold on to, you know what I'm saying? Because you the slave and they need you to celebrate. They need you to keep doing what they need you to do, so you can just constantly be underneath their foot and they can just keep thriving on and on. Esau wouldn't be nothing if we wasn't in this kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Like the Latinos, if they wasn't snatching up the Latinos, maybe a family or two would eat just a little bit better, you know, but you snatching them out the fields, you snatching them everywhere. So this is what happens. He's just like if I could,
Right.
This is like what General Behind just said in the scripture breakdown class this past Thursday. You know, the white man, he must, you know, lift us up, you know what I'm saying, to be stronger than him. He must admit it. He got to do it, because this is the only way out now for him, because he getting ready to get destroyed. You might as well just put us up there, blacks and Latinos, because we better than you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, a lot here. A little bit more on that.
That's what. These deals were conducted privately amongst families, friends, and business contacts. Slaves were handed over in town squares and courthouse steps, and sometimes simply on the side of the road.
On courthouse steps. Right here in D.C., right across the street from D.C. Superior Courthouse, right there on Indiana Avenue, literally right across the street. If you're familiar with D.C. Courthouse, there's an old courthouse right there, and they used to sell slaves right there on Indiana Avenue. You know, it's funny how can you read that again, sir? Just that same one.
These deals were conducted privately amongst families, friends, and business contacts, and slaves were handed over in town squares or courthouse steps.
Town squares or courthouse steps. This is what they used to do. They used to literally, they be in major cities selling slaves, and it wasn't just our Judite brothers and sisters. They were selling Indian slaves as well, you know, or the Gadites. You know, that's why we say so-called black man, so-called Indian, all that, because that's what they put on us. Those terms right there, that's what the white man put on us. But they was doing all that, like especially in, you know, up in New York, they were selling Gadites. Probably down in Georgia. Matter of fact, it's one down there. Yeah, they had an 1848 Georgia slave code. You know, where you couldn't even congregate. You know what I'm saying? Like no more than seven of us couldn't even congregate without it being a crime. Or if you did do it, you know, of course, it's a penalty, because the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. So of course, he's gonna put his hands on you. He has a very touchy-feely type of, you know what I'm saying? Like he cannot resist on putting his hands on us. You know, like we some exotic animal to him. You know, I know what it is though, because we much better than you. You know, you want to touch jewelry. You want to touch jewelry in the flesh. I get it. You know, you're looking at treasury plates. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you can go on, sir.
That's what. When you say down on Indiana Avenue, is that down where the campsite is?
Further down. It's further down. It's further down.
But in that area.
We on 7th. We on 7th and Hale. You know,
So yeah,
we don't step up in hell. So,
and they're down on going 5th.
It's 300 Indiana Avenue, right there beside the FBI building, J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
DC
about.
courthouse. But right across the street from there, you know, it's another old courthouse right there, and they used to sell slaves right there on the steps, with no restrictions. You know what I'm saying? And we was reading it earlier. You know, we still get hired today. This right here is called hiring or heartbreak. You know what I'm saying? Like the families are on edge. You could just imagine our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Our however far great grandmothers and grandfathers, and they just sitting there on edge, and then the children they on edge, and then their children on edge because they don't know whether they're gonna get sold, whether they're gonna be able to get rented, where they can just go away for a second, then come back, or all of them could just stay together. That's the power that Esau had over us, and he still do. But you know, once you come into this school right here in the UPK, you know, we're free people. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not outside of America, but at the same time, we're not bound by your customs. You know what I'm saying? Your holidays. You know, all this is a reason because of New Year's. This is reason why people celebrate New Year's now. You know, you want to be all happy and jolly and everything, dismissing the fact what's happened to Latinos. You know, like I don't know how you keep doing it. You know, so like, can I get a scripture?
Yeah,
I wanted to Deuteronomy 28 and 15 and 16. You know, like we out here struggling. Our people are out here in hell, literally. I was just looking at some of the Latino brothers and sisters the other day on YouTube, and they was in an uproar. They crying, they stressing because they just can't believe what's going on. They've been here. Some of them was even born here, but not their parents. And then they looking at their parents being taken away right in front of their eyes. And you know, it's sad, man. It's sad. But a lot of this, you know what I'm saying, a lot of this is getting ready to get celebrated. If you celebrate New Year's, you're celebrating the snatching away of your Latino brothers and sisters, and you are misrepresenting and you are congratulating what happened to your ancestors here. You know what I'm saying? While they was sitting in their slave quarters, not knowing whether they was getting ready to get sold off or anything, you know.
Yeah, Sly, if I could, what you bringing out is heavy because what you're saying is like there's some Northern tribe brothers and sisters who was born here, but the parents weren't. They're trying to do away with the birthright citizenship so that those people that was born here, but was born under quote undocumented peoples, they're supposed to get deported as well.
Oh, God.
So it's crazy how history repeats itself.
Right.
They also did this to the Levites down in Dominican Republic. It was called the parsley. I want to say the parsley or something like that. So had something to do with parsley. Basically, they went up to Levite looking Levites. You know what I'm saying? People. And they said that you held up some parsley and said, pronounce this, say this. And if you couldn't say it the way that they wanted you to say it, they would, deport you.
Was you basically out of there?
Yeah, get you out of there. And they're doing that now.
Right.
Like they have tactics of truck drivers who the people who are loading up, because truck drivers usually long haul truck drivers, go from state to state to state and whatnot. Okay. They usually don't load up. It's someone who's working at the docks that loads it up. So what they're doing is they're for these Northern tribe brothers and sisters, they're loading them up extra heavy so they can be overweight because those weigh stations. So they have to stop at the weigh station, and they have ICE waiting there, or police waiting there for people to be over a certain amount of weight. And then when they stop them, because now they have a legal right to stop them, they'll say, sing the national anthem, or say the say the Star Spangled, the Pledge of Allegiance.
Go,
and
go.
if you're not pronouncing it the way they want you to pronounce it, you're gonna get kidnapped.
You gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
So this is what they do to us. That's the water, sir.
No sweat.
This is what they do to us. They kidnap us, illegally. Of course, kidnapping is illegal, but they kidnap us, throw us in the back of vans. You even got people protesting against, of course, all this ICE, situation and everything. Sometimes ICE have a hard time even getting out of where they go even do their job at. They have an evil job, first of all. If you're a brother out there, do not sign up for the $50,000 bonus trying to, become an ICE agent. You don't have to do that. You can come right in here and literally work for your people, by working for the Lord. You don't have to, get yourself into an ICE situation. But for the brothers and sisters out there that's in Esau's military or police forces, come in here and get some counsel on how you need to operate when you're going through that, because you don't want to be an enemy to your own people, because it's going to be a price to pay. If you abuse your own people, you definitely going to get it back. It's not like you're going to get away with it just because don't nothing happen to you. Maybe 3-4 years. It doesn't matter. There's no time limit on it. The Lord will visit you. Trust me, and that's not going to be a good one.
It's Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and statutes.
This is saying if the children of Israel do not listen, hearken means to listen. If you don't listen to the Lord, to the Lord, who the Lord sent, who is the priests and the prophets, at this time, this is in the book of Deuteronomy. So this is dealing with Moses. So if you don't listen, read on.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
If we don't listen to what the Lord said, to do all these law, statutes, and commandments, the curses shall come upon us and overtake us. You see it right now. You see what's happening. White man and put out drug. A lot of our people suffer from drug addiction because he dumped the drugs off. What else? It's just a ton of things. You know what I'm saying? So because we disobeyed the Most High, this is what happens. And it still happens to this day. Our people are not doing nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun, like the scriptures say. If we don't listen to the Lord and we don't do what he told us to do, curses shall be upon us. Now, in this day and time, these curses, because we in the last days and times now, we still got to do the work, like Christ said, occupy till I come back. So that don't mean, you'll be waiting on Christ. You know what I'm saying? You got to do the work. You got to want and make Christ come back. You know what I'm saying? To destroy this place, so we don't have to stay here and endure another 500 and 1,000 years in slavery under a heathen like the white man and all the other oppressors, all the other nations.
Right. Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Cursed shall thou be in the city. We in the cities. Most of our populations are in the cities right here in the United States, in Central America, and South America. You got Mexico City. You got Caracas down there in Venezuela.
Mexico City is home to 25 million people. 25
million people. That's 3 New York cities. That's right. 3 New York cities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, we got that, Caracas in Venezuela, the cities in Colombia, Bogota, we can go on and on. Rio, Sao Paulo down there in Brazil, we can keep going. But cursed shall thou be in the city. Read on.
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
And cursed shall thou be in the field. you know, a lot of our brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, of the Latino tribes, you know what I'm saying? They in the fields, man. They doing the work.
Right.
This is how you get a lot of food in your grocery stores that you have conspiracy theories against as well, you know. You can't even go in the grocery store no more. All right, well, don't go. You know, you scared to do that now. You got to stop being scared, man. The Lord did not create us to be scared. Fear him, but don't fear nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Definitely don't fear Satan. You got to fight Satan and these demons that come upon you. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, you're going to be overtaken. You know what I'm saying? You have to listen. You have to definitely listen. But we can drop this, sir. Can we pull up that other one? That second one that is the historical legacy.
Historical legacy.
Of the Watch Night. It's coming from the National Museum of African American Museum.
The historic.
Okay, stop it.
Go ahead.
No, so we basically we in the state right now, you know, like literally in this time of year. This is a real vital time right here because a lot of people, you know, they real anxious. You know, the stress level is real high because you might have not been able to get whoever, you know, certain things, presents and everything, because you want to fall weak to this Christmas thing and then eventually celebrate the New Year's, which don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Our people was on edge when New Year's was coming in. And this has been going on for a long time. I don't never hear the public, you know, your so-called black leaders. Why they don't never talk about this? You know what I'm saying? They always bringing out everything that got to do with Christmas and New Year's Eve and then New Year's and then eventually, well, Martin Luther King, but, you know, right before that, between Christmas and New Year's, everybody's on edge, you know, and a lot of our people, that's when a lot of drug abuse kicks up, a lot of over alcoholism, a lot of sexualism, you know, because, you know, people do things and they shouldn't be doing, of course. Yeah,
Slogging. I know it was his brother was telling me in Sweden. Was it Sweden? It was one of them Scandinavian countries. I believe it's Sweden. He was saying that Christmas time, they have this tradition where they basically go and smash somebody else. They, you know, the couples, the married couples will be like, hey, well, this is a day of, you know, freedom or whatever.
Right.
So they'll go and like, hey, I wanted to smash this person all year, so I'm gonna go with them, and you go with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to his house, and then you can bring the other one over here. And this is a tradition around this time of year.
That sounds like a big freak, P. Diddy oil, freak off swinger party. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, all that. I give you a side note. Those them filthy Ishmaelites. You know what I'm saying? Those Arabs. If a woman and a man gets divorced, and for them to get back together, it's in their hadiths. She has to sleep with another man before she get back with him.
What?
That's their customs. That's literally their sick customs. So you Muslims out there, you know, I'm talking to you, you know, if any of you Arabs, you know what I'm saying, any of y'all tuning in online, isn't it true? Well, you don't have to tell me because I know it is, but it's true that if you and your wife get divorced, and then y'all plan to get back together, she is required to sleep with another man before she gets back with you. And you allow that. That's the sick thing. So I know what you're saying about the Sweden thing, and you know, like it's just heathenry all the way around the board. You know what I'm saying? We can read that too.
Yeah.
That's the second one.
The historical legacy of Watch Night.
It's Watch Night. You know, our people, you know, they gotta watch out, you know, because they don't know what's getting ready to happen. That's why I say they are on edge for this. New Year's is not a time of celebration. It's on time for you got to be on point, be on your P's and Q's. You know, back then, you still got to do it now. Salaki.
No sweat. It is a day of poetry and song, a new song. The cloudless skies, the ball in the air, this brilliant sunshine are in harmony with the glorious morning of liberty about to draw upon us. Frederick Douglass, December 31st, 1862.
Pathetic.
On the night of December 31st, 1862, enslaved and free Americans gathered, many in secret, to ring in the new year and await news that the Emancipation Proclamation had taken effect.
Now, check this out. He just said and gather. Now, remember what I was saying earlier about the 1848 Georgia Slave Code, which prohibited you 7 or more of even gathering to do any damn thing. You know what I'm saying? You are not to get together and sit up there and sing, sing a song and dance. I mean, what are you celebrating? Because first of all, this is what they made it out to be. Like it became so normal and irregular that our ancestors started celebrating the fact that maybe I might be sold and maybe I'm not. Like who would do this? You don't see a lot of our brothers and sisters today doing things like this. Or I just, they say if you're getting ready to go to prison, I don't see people throwing parties for that.
Right.
Their family members is singing and dancing, like, yeah, such and such, getting ready to go in, getting ready to get canned, But our people then were doing this, and the Christian church promotes things like this. They promote, you celebrating New Year's, which is a dark day. It's a dark day. It's nothing of celebratory, things to be done. Flavia.
No sweat. Like if I could add,
Come.
They didn't let us gather, but one place, which was their Christian church, where they had, an overseer or a slave master,
Right,
in attendance, making sure we got that quote unquote good education.
right. That good education, or shall we say that good miseducation?
Right. Many in secret to ring in the new year and await news of the Emancipation Proclamation had taken effect. Just a few months earlier, on September 27, 1862, President Abraham Lincoln issued the executive order that declared enslaved people in the rebelling Confederate States legally free. However, the decree would not take effect until the clock struck midnight at the start of the new year. The occasion, known as Watch Night or Freedom's Eve, marks when African Americans across the country watched and waited for the news of freedom.
The news of freedom. Despite what Abraham Lincoln did with the Emancipation Proclamation, he just transferred people. That's all it was. You're not free. You're not even free today. You know what I'm saying? You have to ask the white man for everything.
Uh-huh.
We are not free. Stop thinking that you're free. You think you're free because he have allowed you to obtain employment. You can go to the grocery store when you want. You can pretty much, roam around the land. You know what I'm saying? But you still not free though. Let you do something and watch he remind you how these days right here will just show right back up in your face. You know what I'm saying? Like you being put in chains and all the brothers out there and the sisters, who've been in Esau's jail and prison system. I mean, you already know what it is to get your freedom taken away from you like that. It's nothing. So don't be so proud. And a lot of our sisters are so proud to, when they got, like a lot of these sisters that just lost all these government jobs, right here.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump just deleted over 300,000 government jobs. A lot of them were black women. So, all these high car notes that you got, and these high mortgages, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you gonna do now? Some of y'all are back, but some of y'all are not. You can't partake in the ways of the heathen, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way things is.
Right.
Like yeah.
The occasion, known as Watch Night or Freedom's Eve, marks when African Americans across the country watched and waited for the news of freedom. Today, Watch Night is an annual New Year's Eve tradition that includes a memory of slavery and freedom, reflections on faith, and celebration of community and strength. Watch night service is rooted in African American religious traditions. During the first watch night, many enslaved African Americans gathered to pray, worship, sing, and dance.
Worship, sing, and dance, because you think you get ready to be free. But all together, this goes back to how our brothers, our ancestors were scared of January 1st. January 1st was not a time to drop the ball. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a time that you can just gather in the streets with thousands of people and everybody is just in that merry state. You know what I'm saying? Where, you out in the cold, you don't care how cold it is, as long as you out there with the people and you can be seen now, you're going to have the phone up, you're going to be, Instagram, TikTok, everything, just to show that you outside. You know what I'm saying? Who cares, man? Who cares about outside if it ain't worth it? You know what I'm saying? Like, we outside for real, but we helping our people. We on the corners, teaching and providing assistance for our people. We're not doing like promoters of New Year's Eve, events do, where they just need you to pay a bunch of money just to literally be on the street so you can come in and come in this sectioned off perimeter so you can sit there and pop bottles and scream Happy New Year. You really don't even care. That's just something to say, man. It's not real. It's not the new year. What's new that's dead? You know what I'm saying? I've never seen nothing new that was just straight up dead. Like, SHALAM.
Nah, keep going. Let's see. At the time, enslaved Black people could find little respite from ever-present surveillance. Even in practicing their faith, white enslavers feared that religion, which was often used to quell slave resistance, could incite the exact opposite if practiced without observance. They wrote laws that restricted worship and large gatherings, such as that in the 1848 Georgia Slave Code.
There you go, right there. Like they feared. Like, at the same time, Esau, he wants you to do, and what he wants you to do, he wants you to celebrate everything that he puts out there for you. All his sick holidays or hell days, I like to call them. But because they do us no benefit to celebrate it, like celebrating Christmas and New Year's, it's nothing. You saying that what's the saying that people like to say with the New Year's? They got a
New Year's resolution.
Yeah, New Year's resolution. Like,
New year, new me.
New year, new me. Yeah, that's another lie. You're lying. How come you didn't change right in front of my eyes? You're still the same. You know what I'm saying? You're still the same. You look the same. You act the same. You speak the same. You had the same job. What's so new about you? You didn't come in here, so you haven't been. You still out there. You're still out in the world. You need to come in here, man. Come out the world and come in the UPK.
Right.
This is a safe place right here. You're gonna realize that real soon. Hopefully Christ will already be back by next New Year's. You know what I'm saying? So we wouldn't have to even be saying this. But if not, so be it. We're gonna continue this. We're gonna keep teaching.
No sweat. No person of color shall be allowed to preach, to exhort, or to join any religious exercise with any persons of color, either free or slave, there being more than 7 persons of color present. 1848 Georgia Slave Code.
1848 Georgia Slave Code. So if you got ancestors that was, maybe some of our brothers and sisters they were, privy enough to, meet some of their ancestors that met them, if they existed, in the 1900s or something like that, that talk to them about that. They got a couple of videos on it. But the videos are so Christian out, it's almost like a church service getting ready to happen, how they talking about it. But listen, stop celebrating New Year's, because New Year's is trash. It don't mean nothing. you know what I'm saying, you going into the worship of a Greek god. You know, a lot of our people don't know that. Like when you worship all these months, whatever holiday Esau got his whatever month Esau put his holidays in, you literally worshiping that god, you know, of that month, you know, or possibly that day, you know, Janus, Mars, you know what I'm saying? Like all these things that Esau set up, that's what you're doing. You're going into the worship of these Greek gods, which are not even real, but the horror and the deviancy is real within those people, though. You know what I'm saying? The deviancy is real. The horrors is real amongst these people. You know, Esau's a brutal beast. He will get you up out of there. So, like I said, if you can do the next one, that one come with the Forbes magazine. You know, even Forbes magazine says something about this dark day. You know, you can find it. You can definitely find it. You know, our people out there, Israel, you can find about January 1st on how it's detrimental to us to even celebrate something like that. And the history on it is nothing good. You know, it's no different from, you know, they were still in slavery at that point in time. So, you know, if you want to go out there with your white buddy, you know what I'm saying, your African friend, your Arab friend, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Lord be with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not. I mean, I absolutely have no problem in saying no to all the damn holidays on the damn calendar.
Right.
They all trash. You know what I'm saying? Like they boring. I had stopped doing it even before I even knew about the truth because they was just crazy, you know. And a birthday, trash as well. You know, you a grown man, grown woman, and you sitting up here having people telling you happy birthday like you some 3-year-old. I mean, what more do you want to know that you shouldn't be doing this? You know, we warn you every day, all of the UPK classes all the way across the earth, wherever we at. You know what I'm saying? We constantly warning you of those heathens, you know what I'm saying, hell days / holidays. We constantly warning you on them, and you still doing it. But see, I know why though, because of that stinking Christian church, that Christian pastor. That's why. He tell you, whatever he tell you, you go with it.
Right.
Which is crazy. So you got that?
Yeah. Yeah. New Year's Day, a history of bondage and Black liberation. For most Americans, New Year's Day is a time for reflection and anticipation. However, for Black Americans, this season historically bore of heartache and gut-wrenching uncertainty.
Wow. Can you say that again?
However, for Black Americans, this season historically bore a weight of heartache and gut-wrenching uncertainty.
Heartache and gut-wrenching uncertainty. Because you see all your, you know, your friends, who I just named, like, hey, your white boy, your white friend Chad, you know, your Muslim friend Hamid, you know what I'm saying, and Punjabi and whoever else exists in your fake circle, your fake friend circle. Because they're not your friends for real. They just using you. You know, it's like having a chihuahua from a old white lady. You know what I'm saying? She walk around with her little dog. That's how they treat you. You know, if you hanging around in those type of circles, you are that chihuahua that old white lady walks around, and that dog performs certain things on her as well. You know what I'm saying? Because she has no man. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely getting that too. So that's what you are. You are definitely that. You are that. If I could pull another scripture, sir. We're gonna stay in Deuteronomy. We're gonna go to 28 and 32.
32.
Okay.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
thy daughters and thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. Our ancestors that was sitting down in these slave quarters waiting for January 1st, you know, the scriptures is proving this right here. Like Moses warned us about this. Your sons and your daughters going to be given unto other people. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't hearken to what the Lord said. You can't be obedient and listen to what the Lord has provided for us. We can't do what the other nations do. We can't sit up there and eat dolphin meat and fry cat fur, you know what I'm saying, and eat meerkats. You know what I'm saying? We can't do that. We can't drink cheetah pea, you know what I'm saying, and just roast rats. We can't do things like that. You know why? Because it's going to infect you, and the Lord is going to punish you for doing it. You know, we have righteous food to eat. You can't do what the other nations do. Because if you start doing that, your son, you're going to find yourself, well, we already in that predicament. We went into slavery a long time ago, like it was prophesied. Our sons and our daughters will be sold off right in front of you. There will be no more. And there are accounts of, you know, older sisters with children that's before this January 1st thing happened, you know what I'm saying, before the new year happened, when it did hit, they was already stressed out whether what, you know, on edge what was going to happen. And then when it happened, all the children of this mother and this father got sold. And all she wanted to do is say, God, just kill me. You know, this is a real account. You continue.
And there shall be no might in thy hand.
And there shall be no might in thy hand. You can't even fight back. You know what I'm saying? You have no strength to deal with what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like you are being overtaken, and your defense mechanism is just down. You know what I'm saying? Closed curtains.
You going 32? 33?
No, lie. You can stop right there. You got some more of the
article
reports. Come.
Amid the grim era of U.S. slavery, January 1st loomed as hiring day or heartbreak day, a harrowing time when enslavers would settle debts by trading black lives and labor. New Year's Eve wasn't a celebration for the enslaved, but a night of anxious waiting, filled with the dread of whether they or their loved ones would be torn away to be auctioned off or rented out with the dawn of the new year. This tragic history of the holiday season stands as a stark reminder of a painful past, contrasting sharply with the hope and the joy the New Year's represents today. Yet, from the bleak and somber chapter, the traditions of Watch Night, also known as Freedom Eve, emerge, transforming a period fraught with
So they calling it Watch Night, you know, because they got our people, they was watching out, you know, to see who, you know, if they would be sold off or not. You got, you know, people, I know it was one account that I was reading about where it's a 70-year-old woman, black woman, that she's on, you know, she 70 years old, frail, and the slave master, because he's getting ready to actually move up out of the area that he was living in. He was trying to sell her off, you know, like just trying to get whatever he can get from her. You know, 70 years old. You would think that you would just leave her alone. But of course, Esau being the devil that he is, you know what I'm saying? That's not gonna happen. You know, he got to, he has to just sell you. That's what they do. That's what they're doing to us right now in Hollywood, you know, in the music industry, sports industry, like wherever we at, where it's serious money going on, you know, outside of a, you know, normal 9 to 5. He's selling you. That's all he do is sell you. That's all we were to him, you know. It's just a straight profit and food. He gobble us up. He eat us alive. He eat us dead. You know, like he don't care. You know, Esau is the natural cannibal. I know, what was it? George Washington, when he was the general, when him and his men was coming through, and they couldn't endure the harsh winters here. You know, his men they eventually resulted to cannibalism. I know in Virginia they did. There's accounts of that, but they was eating their belts and their boots, you know. Like it. You had something, sir?
No.
Oh. But yeah, you know, like Esau, you know, he's a true beast, man. Like he have always sold us. So, and the thing is, how is this relating back today? You might ask. Well, our people still on edge today. A lot of our brothers and sisters, they don't know whether they're gonna get fired or not from their job. They on edge because of that. You know, some of our brothers and sisters, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, they out here, you know, they playing war games in the street. So, you know, that retaliation and things like that, because the things that you have done, then you know, you don't know if somebody gonna come back. I mean, that we just constantly live with what is it, PTSD? Yeah, like we constantly live like that. Like it's more blacks and Latinos, Native Indians that suffer from PTSD more than US soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Because they not always on the battlefield 24/7, 365, you know. Like our brothers and sisters over here that's in the ghettos, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, the reservations and barrios and favelas down there in South America, they constantly on edge, you know what I'm saying? Because it is a war zone. It might not be 24-hour gunfire all the time, but it's definitely a war zone on different fronts, you know, biological, chemical, you know what I'm saying? It's trash, man. You know, if you a brother and sister out there, you should wake up in the morning and say every morning that the white man is the devil, because that will help you go along with the day. I'm telling you, it works. It worked for us, and we proudly say it all the time. Right. We have no problem saying it in his face, in the nation's capital, anywhere. You know, we say it right here in the belly of the beast. But we'll say it anywhere. Wherever I.S.U.P.K walks and talks at, that's what we're going to prophesy. And if we have to prophesy into the wind, we will do that as well, like the scriptures say.
Like if I could, I just want to read some of the symptoms off of PTSD.
Come.
Here's aggressive or emotional outburst, acute or chronic unexplained physical pain, headache, palpitations, trembling hands and sweating, jumpiness, digestion disorders, low mood, social isolation, loss of interest in activities, distrust in others or the world, nightmares or flashbacks, sense of self-blame, worthlessness, shame and guilt. You know, a lot of this stuff, I'm reading all this stuff and it's like, yo, that's us. And then we turn to things that the white man puts in our hands to further destroy us,
right? Which
is drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We need help to overcome all this stuff, the stuff that they've done to us, and they'll flood our streets with heroin, with crack, with cocaine, with all fentanyl,
right,
and weed. You know what I'm saying? Alcohol and all this stuff, and then say we're the blame for our own destruction. They put us in this situation, and then we pass out. So like, if I could, just one more thing. There's because you brought out before the residential houses, the residential schools. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's a high suicide rate of people from residential schools, and it's not really the people who went through the residential schools. It's the children of the people that went through the residential schools.
Right?
Why? Because they passed down the trauma. You know what I'm saying, that they incurred in those residential schools onto the children. And the children weren't equipped. The people who went through them wasn't equipped to handle it, and then the children wasn't equipped, you know, to deal with what was, you know, dealt with their parents from those residential schools.
Right.
So like I
yield for that. Yeah. I mean, one of those symptoms that said, what is it? Nightmares of flashbacks.
Nightmares of flashbacks.
Right. Like that's got to be horrifying right there, because See, right there, you can't even sleep if you got nightmares or flashbacks. You just gonna constantly be up thinking somebody's out to get you. You know, if if a door just say if the wind blow the door closed, you know, oh, that's it, you know, and then you really off the edge now. Yeah, it's like
that. I mean, that's nigga 101.
God.
You hear something, you know, you hear something down the block, you go the other way. You know what I'm saying? That's something bred in us. You know what I'm saying? That right. It's kind of, we make it comical, but that's a part of, you know, PTSD.
Yeah, it is. It's that PTSD is. I mean, get me right on this, if you could, sir. It started with what? Just soldiers, right?
Well, that's what they attribute it to, but it's any kind of trauma. See? But they you know, it's like it's almost like how the way the Amalekites say anti-Semitism is specifically for them,
right?
But it really encompasses a whole bunch of people,
right?
That's how PTSD is. You know what I'm saying? They say it's specifically for, you know, soldiers and whatnot who've been through war. But anybody who's been in, you know, a gunfight or who's been wrongfully arrested
right.
and or convicted and thrown in jail for something they didn't do,
right.
Been abused, you know what I'm saying, by the police, by their school, by teachers, by the block, you know what I'm saying,
right?
Got
right.
all this trauma,
right?
That you have, and you have PTSD because of some of those events or all of those events.
You know, Shalom, I'm gonna give a personal account. You know, my grandfather, my father's father, right? You know, we Blackfoot Indians, you know what I'm saying, of the Saponi tribe. He fought in the Korean War, and he could not raise my pops, you know what I'm saying, because he was the old term shell shock. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now they call it the
PTSD.
Right, yeah. PTSD. But the old term was shell shock, you know what I'm saying, because of what he went through, you know, and he used to ride around, you know, I think he was, he was he lived out his years in Pittsburgh. But, you know, he used to want to jump in certain things, but they got gangs up there. He used to want to get in the midst of, you know what I'm saying, situations like that. I was like, nah. You know, this is what my pops was telling me, of course. But, you know, it's like all these things come about because of the stress and the trauma and things that we endured a long time ago. And what this information right here is bringing out, the dark history of New Year's Day for our people, at least, you know, forget the rest of the world. I'm talking about Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, who cares? Trash. This is not for you.
Right.
You didn't go through what we went through. You know, our people had a high stress level then, and it trickled down into our bodies now. You know, like you said, Adawan, you know, it just plays that, you know, it keep going down, keep getting passed on, generation after generation. You might see a little baby, you know, just jumping for what, you know, especially if they live in a neighborhood where it's, you know, it's a lot of gunfire.
Right.
So our people are shell shocked, literally. We shell shocked not even from the shells. We shell shocked from Esau's oppression.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can't get your kids, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of presents on that day of Christmas. You're not able to throw a cookout on July 4th. You know, you're not able to give chocolates and hearts and whatever on Valentine's Day. And I mean, what's the other day? You know, all of Esau's holidays, man. All of his hell days is trash. You know, like, just because you're not able to do all that, well, now your stress level have just kicked up 3 notches. You know, like you in 5th gear of the train or something. You know, all you got to do is just say, nah, I'm not doing it no more. Build up the strength and say, forget Christmas and forget New Year's. Because maybe that'll give you some strength to go on the rest of the year and say that about all the other holidays that's coming along. Because, you know, we're right at the beginning. We're getting ready to be at the beginning of them. So really, Christmas might even kick it off, you know, because it's right there. So from Christmas all the way to Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Christmas to Christmas. 2/5, 2/5, not 1/2. You know what I'm saying? Not 1 West, not the home of the truth. But you know, Esau's 2/5. So he can have that, you know. But all you got to do is Black, Hispanic, Native Indian. You can come out of that. If I can get another scripture, sir.
Absolutely.
If I can get 41, Deuteronomy 28:41.
It's Deuteronomy 28:41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them. Read on.
For they shall go into captivity. For they shall go into captivity.
This right here is basically bringing out the proof of how we was reading earlier about our ancestors with when they have their children and their other family members are gathered around and they just on edge waiting to see, am I going to be sold today, or will all of us get ready to, you know, be able to stay together, depending on what the mind frame of the devil is that day. You know what I'm saying? Because he has control of the first. That's probably one of his best days because he probably make a lot of money. And then the people that's, you know, his people are buying new slaves, and they was like, yeah, I got me a good one today. You know, this is how they feel. You know, this is Esau's heaven, and this is our hell. When Christ returned, when the Christ and the angels come back on this planet to destroy these places, destroy all these governments worldwide, we're going to be in our heaven, because heaven is on earth. Right. It's not somewhere after death. And hell is on earth. Hell is not a fiery place of forever burning. All right, so y'all, you know, Israel, you need to know that. Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, you need to know that. So if you could drop that, sir, and I take Revelations 13:10, please.
Revelations 13:10.
Yes, sir. It's wild how Forbes magazine brought this out as well. This is they just one of the sources that they brought out the dark history of New Year's. You know, I don't know why this is not, you know, seen prevalent. If you heard of it, Most High in Christ, you can relate. But if you haven't, just note that, you know, the Lord sees what you're doing. So all the times you keep celebrating, you know what I'm saying, this stinking New Year's and this stinking Christmas holiday, you know, he sees that. You need to repent. Come into the UPK, man. Do away with these sick, evil days.
Revelations 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Yes, sir.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
So this devil has led us into captivity. Now note, the scriptures say, he that lead those into captivity shall go into captivity. So by the white man leading us into captivity, he's going to eventually go into slavery,
right? Which
he has to. It's prophesied. You know, it's going to be for his benefit anyway, because if you leave it up to him, he's going to destroy the whole planet Earth. He's real close to doing it, you know. But thankfully, under the leadership of Commander General Yahanna, we know these records now. You know what I'm saying? We know the Bible. We got our records back. You know, we are being taught our records the proper way. We're not self-teaching ourselves, making things up and then believing it. You know what I'm saying? Right. That our people have a habit doing that. You think you can read the Bible from Genesis to Revelations like it's some damn novel, like it's a Steve Harvey book or something. You know, it's not like that. No, it's not like that. You have to be taught by the men above you, the men who know what they're doing, professionals. You don't go into Esau's school system, interrupt the teacher, and say, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that. But everybody's a scholar who comes to these scriptures. No, you're not. You don't know nothing. What you need to be knowing is how to put on all black as a brother, cover your head completely, put a skirt on, as a sister and come in these chairs right here, sit down and learn the proper way.
Right.
Read it again, sir.
Revelations 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
He must be killed with the sword. Because of our ancestors, you know, sitting in these rotten houses that they had to endure, you know, in their slave quarters. Because of course, it's because of our disobedience as well. The scriptures say this, like we don't hide from our sins, what we did in the past. We don't. We fix them today, and we've been doing it, and it works. It works. Because of that, you know, we went into captivity because we didn't listen, and because of the slave master, you know, he can't stop oppression. You know, like oppression is just what he does. That's what Esau does. You know, the Lord say, you know, can't make straight what he made crooked.
Right.
You cannot do it. So like I said, if I can get the book of Amos 3:21. Because a lot of our brothers and sisters out here, you think that these white man holidays they must be fulfilled and they must be celebrated. First of all,
there's no 20.
Oh, Salaki, Amos. Oh, Salaki says 5. Salaki.
Amos 5:20.
Come. Salaki. You think that Esau's holidays must be celebrated when they don't even mean nothing. You know, like what do you get out of it? All you doing is just literally saying the day, happy this, happy that. You know, it's really nothing that comes behind that. Because most of these holidays, especially in the summertime, our people, you know, we getting unalive and wounded, you know what I'm saying, in the streets out here at a high rate.
Right.
So, you know, it does you no benefit to even celebrate Esau's holidays. If you could, sir.
This is Amos chapter 5:21. I despise your feast days.
I hate and I despise your feast days. This right here, this is talking about these holidays, man. These feast days, these holidays that the white man got us celebrating and we shouldn't. You know, especially when 4th of July come around, people just be ready to grill and just, you see people in red, blue, and white. It's nothing wrong with wearing the colors red, blue, and white if you want to wear red, blue, and white, but you doing it on a day where you know it represent, you know what I'm saying, that white man, you know what I'm saying, July 4th, which is a horrible day for us because we were still in slavery.
Right.
People were still on stress level high, you know what I'm saying, and not too long after that, they are on the highest stress level because they was like, all right, am I get ready to get, you know? So I guarantee you some of these slaves were being killed as well. You know what I'm saying? To come in the new year, top of the new year. Like, let me see who I'm unalive as well. It wasn't just about selling them. No, it was about who they wanted to off as well. Because that's what they got the power to do it. Salaki.
Like if I could, you know, in January, just like July 4th. July 5th, July 4th was Independence Day, but July 5th, we still had to meet our quota in the fields.
Right. Another horrible day.
Right. It was nothing free for us.
Right. There's nothing, there's no such thing as free with us, you know. Like Esau provides a certain type of system where he have you degrade yourself if you want certain things.
Right.
You know, if you don't have the discipline, you know what I'm saying, and the knowledge and just respect for yourself as well, you are going to degrade yourself in trying to obtain certain things. So you got a New Year's resolution, you know what I'm saying? And it might take you, if you care, you know what I'm saying? Like if you down with it, you degrade yourself. Some of these sisters be up in these workplaces, you know what I'm saying, servicing the supervisor. You know, the men too.
Yeah, look at Diddy.
Yeah, look at Diddy. That might be what Diddy stand for. Did I do you? You know what I'm saying? Diddy did it. Diddy definitely did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot here.
Amos 5:21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
Right. Keep going, sir.
Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them.
You know, during these holidays, January 1st is very known for our people, you know, cooking black eyed peas.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got the collard greens. You got the cornbread. Then you got the cornbread. You got the ham hog. You know what I'm saying? All that. The pork is definitely in effect. You know what I'm saying? Lord just said, I hate and I despise your feast days. But yet we still do these type of things. And this is us all the way around the board. You know what I'm saying? It's black, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. You know what I'm saying? Like, we celebrate these days equally. You know what I'm saying? There's no shine of nothing. Same foods, you know what I'm saying? It might be cooked different, you know what I'm saying? But it's the same thing. It's the same thing all the way around the board. You know what I'm saying? From South America to the Caribbean in between to up here, right here in the United Snakes of America. You know what I'm saying? You got the same thing. These foul feast days. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's a new year, you gotta eat certain foods. That black eyed peas does not equal good luck, by the way. I don't know why y'all think that, but no, they don't. It's like
yeah. So here's what our brothers and sisters in the world do.
Yeah.
Black eyed peas, which represents coins, to bring good luck and wealth.
Good luck and wealth.
Collard greens symbolize paper money, dollar bills. Cornbread represents gold. The pork signifies progress and abundance as pigs root forward. And candy yams is common symbolize sweetness and good fortune.
So the peas is good luck.
Peas is good luck for representing coins. We get
representing the coins.
All about the money. And then the greens is about the money.
That's the paper money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the cornbread represents gold, which is hey, we so broke, man. We need something to, you know,
right,
put together, you know, represent, you know, some funds.
That sounds like, I don't know, the Bureau of Engraving and the Federal Reserve all in one. Like, how are you eating greens? I love greens. Don't get me wrong. Greens are delicious. But how are you eating greens going to symbolize you getting money? Oh, you getting money now, huh? Okay. You getting paper. All right.
I eat it every day. So
right.
That was the case.
If that's the case, well, what if you don't have a job when January 1st comes? You know? So then what? You know, and you eat all that. Like, you pig out on all that. Literally pig out, because you got the pork right there with it.
Yeah.
You know, so you literally pigging out. Like, what about that? You know, like, can you answer that? I don't think you can, because it doesn't exist for real. You know, you can eat those type of foods. You're not supposed to eat pork. You know what I'm saying? But all the other ones on that list, cornbread, collard greens, black eyed peas, candy yams, you can eat all that. But pork, you got to do away with that. The Lord said, I do not, what did it say again in 22?
So he offered me burnt offerings and your meat offerings. I will not accept them.
That's right. Though you offer me burnt offerings, I will not accept them. You know, you're a fat beast. You know what I'm saying? I despise your beasts. I despise your feast days. Who cares about New Year's?
Right.
It's trash. It's a dark day for us in antiquity, and it still is, because we on our stress level is real high. If you care about, you know, what Esau telling you to do, you know what I'm saying? See, we don't listen to Esau. We follow all his laws in this land, but we do not. We take ourselves out of America, like the scriptures say. Come out of her, Babylon, Babylon. You know what I'm saying? She has fallen. She's falling right now. We literally watching her crumble. And y'all need to see that, man. For real, our people need to see that. Need to see Babylon just fall and crumble, break. The face of the country just slide off the bones. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to see all these type of things, and you will too. You know, you need to come in here and repent. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, can you take me to? I'm gonna pull one more scripture, sir. That's Deuteronomy 28:68. See this right here. This New Year's is real lethal. Like, it might not seem too big for a lot of people because they might just think, you know, you're going to be able to just go out there and say Happy New Year. You have a drink of champagne and that'll be it. No, it doesn't end there, man. You know what I'm saying? You have a whole new, year of trauma and horror. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not done on you personally, it's done. Your people are going through it, which you should take personal. See, that's what we do right here in the I.S.U.P.K. Whatever happens to our brothers and sisters in LA or in Ecuador or in the UK, you know what I'm saying? We feel that and we address that. I mean, we literally leave nothing untouched. Anything that's happening to our people, you know what I'm saying? We speak on it. And the same zones that I just named, Ecuador and the UK and LA, yeah, they speaking on it too. They speak on the brothers' situations in the Midwest and the East Coast and Canada and Colombia and Brazil, wherever we at, we speak on it. Because we love, this is real brotherhood right here. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do.
Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
This scripture right here, Deuteronomy 28:68. The Lord, he's going. This is Moses warning the people. You know, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Egypt is the Greek term. You know what I'm saying? Egyptos meaning bondage. That's what Egypt means. So whenever, you know what I'm saying, Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, you see that word Egypt, just think of bondage. Just think of being in captivity.
Again with ships.
Again with ships. So when this was being prophesied, you didn't have to go into Egypt. Our people didn't have to go into Egypt again with ships because we was in the wilderness right across from Egypt. So there would be no point in to getting on a boat and going to Egypt because you can literally walk over there like we walked out of there. Slop.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
You should see it no more again, meaning your homeland. You know what I'm saying? Your homeland. We was taken out of there because what was happening. You know what I'm saying? We was under captivity in Egypt, but Jerusalem, you know what I'm saying? We had to get up out of there as well, but we was slaughtered. You know, we just got finished telling that whole thing right there is in the book of Maccabees, which was explained. You know, that's why we celebrate, you know what I'm saying, Hanukkah. We observe it. It's like,
and there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
You shall be sold unto your enemies. When our people went through the transatlantic slave trade, mainly the Southern Kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin, and a portion of Levi, when they were sold into the transatlantic slave, when they went through the transatlantic slave trade, sold as slaves over here to Americas and in the UK as well, you know, it was nothing good. You know what I'm saying? We went through that torture, that pain. You know what I'm saying? We were sold unto our enemies. This proving right here who the white man is. White man is your natural born enemy.
Right.
And the white man is the devil. Like this ain't what we making up. Devil means deceiver. He's a deceiver. He has lied to the whole planet about everything. You know what I'm saying? Mainly about who he has in his captivity, the children of Israel, who the other people know, but he's the white man is the deceiver of the planet. He's the biggest liar that you will ever see on your face of the earth. Keep going, sir.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
You shall be sold unto your enemies as bondmen and bondwomen. Those bondmen and bondwomen were right there in the slave quarters wondering, are they going to get sold? You know what I'm saying? That is a new year for them because they're going to be sold off. You know what I'm saying? Some of them going to be unalived. Some of them are going to just be rented out. You know, like that's what you got to look for with your new year. Terrible, pathetic. Keep going, sir.
And no man shall buy you.
And no man shall buy you. You know what I'm saying? No, you shall not be redeemed. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody coming to get you back. There's nobody coming to save you. Once our people went into captivity, and it just wasn't the southern tribe, it wasn't just Judah, Benjamin, Levi, so-called Negroes, you know what I'm saying, our West Indian brothers and sisters throughout the Caribbean islands, and a portion of our Haitian brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? The Native Indians, the Mexicans, and the Guatemalans, and everybody that's in Central and South America, we all went into captivity, all of us, because all those Europeans came over here and started enslaving people everywhere. So the story is no different for none of us. We all went into captivity. So don't put one captivity over top of another,
Right?
Because it doesn't matter, because we all are still in captivity. We're still in captivity. I mean, you literally cannot do what the other nations do, what they do around the world. You can't do it. You got the freedom to travel when he allows you to, but at the same time, you cannot do what they do. We could never get away with scheming and scamming like those stinking Somalians up there in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and St. Paul, Minnesota, Twin Cities. We could never pull nothing like that off. You steal something that's about $30, $37. You getting locked up. Yeah. 37 to 37,000. It doesn't matter. They still in billions, and they keep going up too. You know. So you need to hearken on to the Lord. And we were sold as bondmen and bondwomen. You know, our kids was ripped away from us. And yet all that, and we sitting here trying to celebrate New Year's, the dark day of New Year's, whether we're going to be sold off or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Listen, Israel, stop playing, man. Come into this truth, come into this body of work. You know what I'm saying? We the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying? We under command of General Yahanna. And if you want to really change your life, you know what I'm saying? You prepare yourself for temptation as well. But just come into this school because there's nothing else left out here. You know what I'm saying? And don't celebrate New Year's, all right? And with that, pass the class off to Officer Precaution.
All right, security announcements. We're the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother and sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. It'll be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves to the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must give permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3:8-10. Means 10th in Hebrew, and it's pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of any increase, it's like a 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation is Purim. You can find this in this it's like a Purim, which is the 14th and 15th day of the 12th month, which is Monday and Tuesday, March 2nd and 3rd, 2026. You can find this in Esther's 9:20-31. This is a real good, high holy day, because a lot of people ask, well, where do the sisters stand in the Bible? This sister saved the nation.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to know how the sister saved the nation, come to the high holy day and experience, how this one sister saved our nation.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite stories in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Slakia, you have anything else?
And she did it underneath the power of a heathen.
Right, yeah.
So we can make it happen.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can make it happen.
She wasn't turkey necking. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't a strong black woman. She, she was. Oh man, come to class.
She said no. She said no excuses.
Yeah, she said no excuses. She was no coward.
Right.
She was no coward. That doesn't mean she went Joan of Arc on anybody.
That's right.
Picked up a sword and went Xena and la 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 la. No, she didn't do none of that.
She run.
Right. Yeah. Also, Salakia, the upcoming Passover is the Lord's 57th annual Passover. Right. Will be held in Houston, Texas, April 4th. You know what I'm saying? The Passover fee is $200 for anybody the age of 17 years of age and older. The links for the hotels have been put out. If you haven't gotten it, get with your camp leader to get the link for the hotel that we're going to be staying at, or find your own way. You know what I'm saying, down there, because the hotels blocks that we got is at a deep discount. You may want to get Airbnb, you got a big family or whatever, you want to cook instead of just staying at the hotel. That's no sweat. You can do that as well. Right. But pay your Passover fee, go to ISUPK.com. The link is up there. It says 2025, but it's for 2026. It's for the 57th annual Passover. Once you pay that, it's going to be a timestamp. We're going to know it's after the previous one. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to know, that it's for this year's Passover. Yeah. Let's get that knocked out, because April 4th is tomorrow.
Yes.
It is tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you got to book travel. You know what I'm saying? You got to get on the plane, trains, and automobiles to get to Houston.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know how Israel is. There's been times when I waited to the last minute and it almost came up short. Don't do that. Don't do that. Get it done sooner than later. Tax season is coming up. You know what I'm saying? Allocate those funds to go to the Passover. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Lord allow, you'll have some funds coming back to you. Allocate those funds to go to the Passover. This is a commandment. You know what I'm saying? That means the Most High ordered us to do this. All right. You have anything else for?
Nah,
remind Akim and Akwathim to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headbands, a scarf. With that, I say I'm Michael, which means to stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, Shabbat, I imagine, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah,
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah,
Yah Jamatai, class dismissed.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K. under commanding General Yahanna presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under commanding General Yahanna. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.